Hi Heidi, wonderful to see you here today. Thank you for joining today for the YouTube Live, where we are going to talk about digital strategy. On Monday, we had a Twitter chat with you and co-hosted also with the Digital Disruptor. And it was very engaging, very interesting, a lot of opinions. And in the end of the chat, you told me, I could have said so much more. And that's why we are doing this live today, to share everything about the event, about digital strategy, about the Digital Disruptor event, and the thought process that went behind planning this new event. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Arina. Really nice that you invited me to do this. I am so passionate about this right now. I am eager to dive deeper into this topic, and I have so much to say, as you mentioned, and there's a lot of opinions. We had some great discussion already about digital strategy, so let's do this.
Excellent. So we'll dive directly into the topic, but just before that, very shortly, who are you? And just a bit of a background to those who don't know you.
I'm Heidi. I'm founder and chief executive guru at the Mice Guru, which is a destination management company in Norway and a consultancy in digital strategy, producing also virtual and hybrid events, of which the Digital Disruptor is a great example. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in our conversation today.
Excellent. So let's go into the first question. What is digital strategy and why does every company or brand need one?
It's a big topic, isn't it? We live in the age of digital transformation, and we have been there for quite some time now, quite a few years, but the pandemic has only accelerated that. And with this acceleration comes a lot of fear. A lot of companies are getting scared. They are overwhelmed by the amount of information that's coming out from all corners, and they have been finding quick fix solutions to adapt as quickly as possible to what is happening, to their new day to day. They've been finding new meeting tools, bringing back up outdated content strategies. They're having difficulties keeping their employees motivated. They're having difficulties reaching their suppliers and partners and clients in new ways. And it's kind of like a very, very, very big chaos right now. Nobody really knows what to do, where to go, how to start the process properly. And that's what we're trying to change. So just to give you a little insight, yesterday I came across this incredibly interesting report by Optimizely, and they are talking about the digital experience economy, which is literally what this is. Like, people, companies, brands need to be present in a whole new way digitally. And they asked 800 top companies around the world about different things relating to how they are experiencing this transformation, what they are doing. And 88% of them says that experimentation is crucial to stay competitive in the next 3 years. Like, imagine 88%, that's a huge amount. And half of those top companies, which are already quite ahead if you compare it to most SME, small, medium businesses, half of them says they are struggling to answer to customer demand when it comes to high quality digital experiences. And 80% says that experimentation is the solution to that problem. So again, 66% of them are moderately or very concerned about being digitally disrupted by their competitors. And that is a very, very, very important fact, I believe. You can see we've been talking about the digital divide, how some companies are leveling up, innovating, upskilling, doing different things, and other companies are deciding to wait and see, right? But
Yeah.
what are you waiting for really? Like, are you waiting for a slow death? Or, it's important to hop onto the digital trends and experiment. And that will be key for growth in any company, for any brand, for any personal brand, even in any industry, in the events industry, but also in whichever industry you are operating in. So that is the main situation we are in, and the solution to all of that chaos is to, of course, provide clarity in terms of digital strategy. And digital strategy is a unified approach which incorporates all of those elements of your collaboration, your online audiences, how you communicate, your virtual hybrid events, your community building. And that is what our event that we're currently creating, the Digital Disruptor, is aiming to do. That was long, but
Yeah.
quite the intro.
Yeah, so definitely I will rewatch this interview afterwards to focus on each point that you mentioned. And this event that you are organizing, the Digital Disruptor, will take place on the 3rd of September in
That's right.
Stavanger in Norway. And the format of the event will be hybrid. So let's talk about this chosen format. And first of all, can you define what is a hybrid event? What are we talking about?
Yes. So the event is on 3rd of September, and you said in Stavanger, but additionally to being live in Stavanger, it will be virtual, accessible to a global audience. So that is the definition of hybrid. A hybrid event brings together two audiences. You have a live or in-person audience somewhere at a venue or a location, and you have a virtual audience tuning in from wherever they are. So we've been discussing this a lot, and there's a lot of confusion about the definition of what a hybrid event really is. To me, for example, if you have a studio with 3 panelists streaming out, and the rest of your entire audience is actually virtual, but you call it a hybrid event, I am not sure I agree with that, because those 3 panelists are not necessarily an audience. For it to be hybrid, you need to have a part of your audience that is literally invited as guests on site where you are filming, where your main stage is, and then you connect both of the audiences, and that's the big factor here, how to do that better. You connect your live audience with the virtual audience to have a truly immersive experience that everybody can get excited about. And you do that through engagement, not with just broadcasting it and having people watch, because that's way too boring. And what we're trying to do with the Digital Disruptor again is experimenting together with corporate innovators and our technical crew. Like, everybody is super excited. Like, can this be done? Really pushing boundaries and trying to think outside of what has been done until now to create better connections of those two audiences.
Yes. And so the first event that you organized was the digital trip, right? So the digital trip was a fully virtual event, and now you decided to go hybrid. So you gained already your experience with the digital event, with the virtual event, and now you're going one step further and doing it hybrid, which means you will have also audience on site. And one of the main learnings, I think, when we discussed, you mentioned, was the community building and the engagement. The engagement on social media, building communities, having close groups on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Slack, and having a micro community, which was born out of the community. And you mentioned the term emocurrency. So can you please talk about it? What is emocurrency, and define it, and how it relates to your event?
I'm really happy that the term emocurrency that I've launched recently is getting people curious. So let me put it this way. What is the goal of every brand, every company, every event? It's to move people. to move people, to create brand loyalty. And how do you do that? How do you move those people? By connecting them to you, to each other, in your community, connect the community and all the others around your brand's values, your purpose, and how do you connect people? By moving them on a personal level, like making it human to human. Now, if you take that into an event context, how can you expect a virtual audience to get inspired by your brand if your delivery is completely uninspiring and one-sided? They could easily be doing something else, watching something else, move away from your message in an instant because it's just not exciting enough. It's boring them or whatever. They just don't feel it's fun to be a part of your virtual experience.
It's very easy to lose the audience online. Yeah.
Absolutely. So emo currency is a term that I use for the emotional value you bring and how you move your audience, especially your virtual audience, in return for their screen time. Like they are giving you their screen time, they are sitting in front of their PCs. What are you going to do that is truly inspiring them? You have to remember that the value of your brand and the value of your innovation depends on that. When people get bored by what you do in the digital sphere, that has negative consequences on the message that you're bringing and what you are actually producing as a company in terms of innovation.
Definitely. Yes. And we have a couple of people watching live. So if you have any questions, please ask them now because that's your time to ask the question and to be answered straight away. Yes. And one thing that I want to add about the emo currency that past 14 months were very difficult, and we as individuals and as an industry had very difficult time, which was also, in the events industry, we love to show all the glamorous side of the industry, but we also had personal struggles. And if in a community you can also share kind of your personal struggles of well-being, of having a burnout, and connect on this emotional, personal level, and having someone who understands you, that create also a connection a bit on a deeper level and not just about on the professional level. So that's how I see the emo currency. Okay, so let's go into the next question and talk about your event. I want you to tell me about the thought process that went behind it, and about the audience that you are targeting. But before we go into the question and your answer, I want to show a little video that you prepared for this event.
What's a digital strategy? It's not just video meeting tools. It's not just digital marketing. It's not just conference software. It's a long-term plan. I am the digital disruptor. Let me explain.
Fantastic. I love the voice of the digital disruptor.
That drone is starting to live a life of its own. Like it has we can't even call it a personality, it's a dronality.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me about the thought process behind it, and how did you come up with the idea? How did you come up with the idea of having a drone with its own personality, its own voice? It's a female voice, I must say. So yeah, tell me everything about it.
That is open for discussion, of course. Yeah, the thought process started with a lot of frustration and disappointment, seeing amazing companies do so poorly digitally. Like I said, losing value in terms of what they do. Like I know so many amazing companies only here in Norway and in our region that innovate on a whole other level, but then they produce conferences and invite global guests and make it absolutely boring, and they lose all of the value of what they're doing. So international guests are used to quite a lot now. They get invited to a lot of things all around the world, and they see a lot of different ways of doing digital experiences and virtual and hybrid events. And it's really a pity that a lot of companies still are struggling with leveling up. So that was the first idea. We need to level up as a whole. We need to do something, we need to act, and we need to help those companies developing their digital strategy and bringing their message out in a better way. So there's plenty of events now out there where people talk and talk and talk about the future, but they don't really show it. We want our event, the Digital Disruptor, to be experimental, and I think that is needed to really activate people, to show them and to have live experiences, really making them understand how it can be different. And you asked me who it is for. Well, it's actually designed for companies, organizations, institutions, anybody really, to understand all of this better and experience what it is that we are talking about, so they can start implementing it on their own. And that's really what's required today. You need that digital strategy. You need to step away from those quick fix solutions and make it all a little bit higher quality for everybody.
That's interesting that you say high quality, because that's exactly what I hear today on a Clubhouse discussion about the trend. What's the trend that will be in the next months with virtual event, and that's it exactly, going into higher quality, because we become more educated about the digital tools, about how to create a better experience, if it's just a better sound.
And you need better partners. I mean, you know from our previous event that we've been delivering quality already for some time now, and there's still a lot of people saying, yeah, but we can fix this with the mobile stream, with you doing whatever, referring to the same report of Optimizely. Again, these top companies are all saying the same thing, and that is that they're struggling to level up, and they need to reach that higher quality level because the customer demands it. So we need to have a better focus on quality productions and quality virtual hybrid events for sure from now on, not in the future even, but starting now.
Yeah, and I think that quality speaks for the brand. And if you're a premium brand, and you have to have your digital event up to the standards of the values of your brand, which are high quality. So again, I would love to invite everyone to ask questions. If you have a question, don't hesitate. That's the time to ask, because we are moving to the next one now. Now there will be destinations watching this live stream, and there's a lot of conversation about how to promote destination virtually, because when travel is not allowed, or when there are more hybrid events in the future, you will have only one number of participants on site, and maybe double, 3 times, 4 times more participants joining virtually. So how do you deliver this destination experience to the remote audience? And how do you use Stavanger as a case study?
It's a very, very good question. You know that we've developed our services into a consultancy on digital strategy, and we've really learned so much and taken a look at so many different destinations around the world and where they stand and who is doing better than others and for which reasons. So in terms of digital strategy for destinations, this is also a very important example of showcasing a destination. Global event planners and agencies and in-house teams at global brands or major companies, they are looking at destinations differently now than before. The choice they are making to bring their business to your destination is based on completely new criteria. Not all of them, but many of them, and it's important to respond to that. Digital adaptability is a major focus area right now. So the digital services you are able to offer as a destination, or at least have the knowledge about, know with which partners to connect, has become so much more important. And that includes your ability to deliver digital site inspections and fam trips, to offer deep dive virtual experiences, and so on. And I can hear the naysayers already in the background now saying, no, we're waiting. We have to bring people back to meet face to face, and they have to come to us. And yes, of course they do. And it's a part of the experience that you meet people live, and it will always be. But imagine now, with all of the knowledge that we have and all of the education we have behind us, we can develop so much more and reach out to a much wider audience. So think about inviting 10, 12 people, key decision makers, into your destination to showcase what you have to offer, to perhaps bring their conference or summit or whatever to your destination. And at the same time, you can have 100 or 200 people more experiencing the same virtually. You know, you have so much more value, and you can use all of the virtual data as well, analyze it, use it in the promotion of your destination. And then we have to consider that every single destination has a lot of different audience segments. You know, it's everything from leisure tourists to incentive corporate clients to large associations that want to plan their congress, conference, summit, whatever, in a destination. And you need to be able to cater to each of those segments in a different way. So you mentioned our previous event, the Digital Trip in Stavanger. That was literally a deep dive 2-day digital trip experience with all of the experiences you can have in the destination. Lots of examples of activities, a lot of fun and engagement. And that was mostly showcasing incentive trips, experiential experiences for social programs next to conferences, and just focusing on having a really good time. Now, with the Digital Disruptor, we are targeting the corporate sphere, like corporate innovation, and that is a different way of profiling your destination. It's showing that there is a lot of innovation happening in your destination that makes it interesting for companies around the world coming to you to explore trading opportunities, Nordic business opportunities, you know, bring their events to you because of the fact that they're exciting companies operating in your destination that are showcasing innovation in their specific field of interest. So that's what we're doing now with the Digital Disruptor. And this is, of course, a fine example for any destination to target different audience segments, to invite potential clients, partners, suppliers, event planners, anybody they want to attend such an event, and then to even ideally next level to have all of this content available for repurposing and reusing, re-inviting several groups of people onto an online platform to experience either or, you know, the incentive type activities, or exciting live streams of innovation topics with industry partners, etc., etc. There is so much possibility for exploring that entire universe, and it's important to be a part of that, of the digital transformation, and have yourself being really, really visible online in new ways. And it will give you access to so much more business than only, having focus on your few live visitors on your site inspections. So that's the point of view we have to offer with the Digital Disruptor now as well.
So can you name 3 to 5 core business areas that you find in Stavanger?
Oh, we have a lot of innovation in different fields, but Stavanger is the energy capital of Norway. So it's going from oil and gas to the whole sustainability, green shift to green energy. There is a lot of excitement in the healthcare sector, even F&B. There's so much happening in different industries, and we don't want to narrow down the scope of what the Digital Disruptor is about. We are in the early stages at this time, so we are trying to decide on who the key innovation leader partners will be, and then we will design the content with them and experiment with them to build the full program. So we have an industry exclusivity approach in our sponsor packages, meaning that we don't want two competing companies to be representing a part of the program together, but rather have focus on one or the other, and have a diversified approach, including different industries. And that can be literally anything. And we'll also have the element of future innovation and future digital transformers, where we would like to partner with an institution and an educational entity that is promoting, for example, studies in digital transformation and things like that. So who the partners will be, and we're opening up now for sponsorship opportunities, but step by step, like after 17th of June, we will open to a wider audience. Now we are being extremely selective in who gets the top spots. But we will, based on that, design the program and make it extra interactive and have build around the innovation that they have. But something very important, Irina, to mention is that I mentioned that the events we've seen, and people talk and there's not much interactivity or engagement going on. I want to also prevent with the digital disruptor that it becomes a force-feeding frenzy of technological providers. So we are not going to invite partners to target our audience to sell them stuff or tech in such a way. We want to have a valuable, meaningful conversation with the partners that we have and showcase their innovation on another level. But it's not going to be a million sponsor videos and targeted emails, etc., etc. I am fed up with it myself. I cannot deal with people targeting me on LinkedIn after every single event because I attended on a free ticket or whatever. So I'm tired of that. I want to have focus on what's really important and cut away all that noise and deliver something that is actually an enjoyable, comfortable experience where people can get to know each other based on interests and not because they have to.
Absolutely, it's very important. It's also important for the sponsors that they are receiving the ROI on their investment, so they meet the right clients there. And last question from my side now, and before we wrap up, just that's the last chance to ask questions if anyone has, because we have a good audience watching. And of course, don't hesitate to contact Heidi on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Twitter, because she's always very responsive. And yeah, get in touch. So last question, the venue you chose. We spoke already about Stavanger. It's not going to be like venue tour, right? It's going to be just one venue, right? And this is going to be the FOMO. And this is the venue which you used already at a digital trip. That was the venue of the closing party. And I attended this virtual session, and it was very, very impressive. You showed us how diverse this venue is, because it also has co-working space, and there are companies working in this venue. So it's very, very impressive. It's just the perfect venue for the live audience, which you are planning to have on site, because it's quite big, it's quite spacious. So in any case of corona regulations that people need to have distance, there is a lot of space. So yeah, tell me about the venue. Why did you choose this venue?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this question, Irina. It's part of, you're revealing quite a lot. Yes, FOMO is our live audience venue, and we love it so much because there's a lot of good buzz over there, lots of cool companies, startups, and they have the same mentality as us. They want to move forward, they want to innovate, they want to create, and that's why we feel right at home at FOMO. And actually in the next couple of days I will be talking to some companies over there as well, and we are exploring partnerships as well in-house. So it's a super diverse venue with lots of creativity, and also how it looks, you know, it's co-working space as you said, but it has a huge event venue potential. It has amazing conference rooms that all have their own topic and design, and it's just a feel-good atmosphere. You know, you get business done when you're in there. Immediately from walking in there, you meet the people you need to meet, and you have conversations, and suddenly you're developing a project together. You know, it's that kind of atmosphere, and that's exactly the message that we want to communicate as well with the Digital Disruptor, making it easy for people to connect with like-minded people, to develop themselves and level up and step up their game when it comes to digital strategy. So it was a very easy choice. It looks good, it feels good, and it's what it's all about: innovation and creativity.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's on the 3rd of September. It's a one-day event starting at 9 o'clock.
3 p.m. to 9 p.m. CET. So we made it accessible also for the US market, which would be then from 9 a.m. New York time to 3 p.m. And then also Asia can join in. So it's a time that works for the larger part of our global audience.
Okay, so just before wrapping up, how can people engage with the event and with you?
Well, we're still in very early stages, so actually we're not launching until like next month, but we've already been talking about it so much because people heard some rumors and got curious, and then now we're doing live talks and discussing digital strategy. So it's quite fun to see how fast, how quickly it is evolving. You can find all the basic information on the website, which is thedigital-disruptor.com. We are opening for registration soon, like within this month, hopefully the next 2 weeks, because we want to again make it earlier than expected based on the level of interest that's already out there. And then I encourage you to follow the social media channels that have also had a little soft launch, but that have not been properly launched yet. On Instagram, you can follow at The Digital Disruptor. And on Twitter, it is TDD Hybrid. So just follow us there. And as you mentioned, Irina, if you have any questions, if you want to reach out, if you're interested to partner with us and want to sponsor kits, just let me know. Get in touch with me, send me a message, and we'll pick up the conversation from there.
Fantastic, Heidi. Thank you so much. And we will have another Twitter chat, definitely. And we have really, really good topics. So this time I'm not revealing anything anymore because, as you said, maybe I revealed too much. So stay tuned, follow us on social media, because there will be another fantastic discussion in 3 weeks' time, a Twitter chat, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much, Heidi, and thank you everyone for watching it live.
Thank you, Irina. It's always a pleasure, and thank you everyone for joining. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Talk to you soon.